Welcome to the 2017-2018 NBA preview. My name is Josh, your enviers. Today we are covering the Brooklyn Nets and the 28th ranked team in this series. Huge inspiration to Grantland, like always. This series is based on record-wise of the regular season. This doesn't have to look at anything with playoffs, and with a lot of these bottom teams, we're not even going to be mentioning playoffs with them, or we shouldn't be. Realistically, I mean, people will probably say so-and-so is the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference, or so-and-so is the 8th seed in the Western Conference. And although it's good to have high hopes, in reality that probably won't happen, and this Brooklyn Nets team probably won't be making the playoffs this year, maybe next year, who knows? So to recap last year they only won 20 games. Yeah, they were the worst team in the NBA last year, and prior years to that, they should have been the worst team, but back then the Sixers were in trust the process mode, so it was so hard to compete for that worst team, and the Brooklyn Nets did not do that. But last year they were able to accomplish that. This year I don't see them being the worst team in the NBA. The first episode was the Chicago Bulls. I have them being one of the worst teams in the NBA, maybe the Atlanta Hawks. And the Nets, although they did improve, they did not improve drastically enough. They got guys like D'Angelo Russell, but there's still major questions about this franchise and not having their draft pick once again. Jeremy Lin was injured last year. Not saying that he could have made this Brooklyn Nets team win 30 games single-handedly, but he could have probably helped this Brooklyn Nets team win a few more games in 20, maybe 24. I don't know. And the way Brook Lopez plays, I don't think his style of play fits in the NBA, or it's not popular in the NBA anymore. You know, people want centers that can dribble the basketball, shoot threes, and do all this extra stuff. And Brook Lopez, although last year he did expand his game, he's not as a player of Karl Anthony Towns or Joel Embiid or DeMarcus Cousins or any other next-gen center in the league that people love to watch. So moving on, let's see what the Brooklyn Nets did this offseason to improve from last year. Like I said, not the worst team anymore. Made improvements. Let's take a look at these improvements. The Brooklyn Nets acquired D'Angelo Russell, Allen Crabbe, DeMarre Carroll, and Timothy Mozgov's ginormous contract, essentially only losing Brook Lopez for that. That's a pretty good return on the investments right there. Only losing Brook Lopez, and then also drafting Jarrett Allen out of Texas with a 22nd overall draft pick this year. That's a solid move. These are solid moves for the Brooklyn Nets and a step in the right direction. I also probably should have added Toronto's draft pick. They're finally getting draft picks, which they desperately need. Overall, I absolutely love the trades that the Brooklyn Nets were able to pull off. They were able to get Allen Crabbe. I know they went after him last year in free agency. They got him now. They got young talent in D'Angelo Russell, who could be a future star in the league. So let's check out the rotation then. Here is the projected starting five I have for the Brooklyn Nets. I asked on Twitter a couple months ago, saying who starts for this Brooklyn Nets team, and then real fans come through when people that don't even follow you blow up your mentions saying, Allen Crabbe, he has to start. He gave up $5 to $6 million. He's definitely starting. So is DeMarre Carroll. They're not getting paid that much to not start. And in a sense, I kind of agree with them. This is probably the roster they're going to start with. Their starting five, at least. They're going to start Jeremy Lin, Russell, Crabbe, Carroll, and Mozgov. Because with the exception of Trevor Booker coming off the bench, the starting five is getting paid the most. So in sense, you should start your players that you're paying the most. But in reality, this starting five will probably get hurt, or midway through the season, Coach Atkinson is going to start the young guys such as LeVert or Hollis Jefferson. And with the rebuilding team like the Nets, it's important to start your young guys. And they actually have a lot of talent on that bench not listed here as well. So that rotation is a whole lot better than last year, a whole lot. But unfortunately, like I keep saying in this video, it's the Eastern Conference. This team is unproven. It's young, with questions about Jeremy Lin's health. Can he stay healthy for an entire season? So the question I have for the Brooklyn Nets is, can Jeremy Lin stay healthy to help this Brooklyn Nets team win a few more games? And also, can D'Angelo Russell be the leader that Magic Johnson said he wasn't? I'd love to see D'Angelo Russell prove him wrong. I feel like the Lakers gave up way too early on Russell. The Brooklyn Nets, they got a nice young player in Russell, and hopefully he's able to translate into something. Because he was arguably the best player on the Lakers last season, and it kind of sucks that the whole situation with him and Nick Young maybe had something to do with him getting traded so early in his career. I feel like in the right situation with a bunch of veterans, that probably wouldn't have happened. Unfortunately, he's going to Brooklyn, where he moves from one rebuilding team to the next. But fortunately for Brooklyn, he's probably going to be the corner piece for their organization for the foreseeable future, considering he's the only young player with a super high ceiling, in my opinion. So hopefully Magic Johnson's comments weighs down on him and he's able to ball out and be a leader for this Brooklyn Nets team. The best revenge is success. I can see this team winning 4 to 6 more games than they did last year, being around 24 to 26 wins. Let me know in the comment section below how many wins you feel like the Brooklyn Nets are going to get this year. Maybe they could kind of be like last year's 76ers, where at one point in the season they were super excited to watch until they got hurt. I feel like that could happen with them, minus the hurt situation, but just a fun young team to watch. So with that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the NBA preview covering the Brooklyn Nets. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. It'd be greatly appreciated because these videos do take a long time to make. Before you go, check out some of these other videos on screen right now. They'll take you to previous episodes I've covered covering the Chicago Bulls and the Atlanta Hawks. Follow me on Twitter at Enviers, link in the description if you want to chat about it, along with the playlist in the description as well. Keep sharing this series around and hopefully it's able to pick up more traction than it has. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.